Conclusion inevitable.
It was a jump to conclusions, Matt.
My conclusion was that this idea was not a practical deterrent.
My only conclusion can be that it was a Sith Lord.
In conclusion.
Hello there, folks. Welcome back to In Conclusion, the only movie podcast about America's true hero, John C. Reilly. I'm Dan O'Keefe, and joining me as always is Anna Otto. Anna, how are you?
I was very anxious that you were going to say Chris Pratt, and I got very nervous, and then you didn't, and that's why I gasped, because I love John C. Reilly.
Yeah, no, Chris Pratt, he flew too close to the sun.
And then he started saying things that he really shouldn't have.
I don't know enough about that. I just know that
I do.
People don't like him, and I'm like, whatever. He's married to a member of the Kennedy family now.
Yeah. Well, he was married to
Anna Faris.
Anna Faris. Thank you. Sorry to brain fart. My brain kept saying Anna
Paquin.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you. Wow, you're reading my mind tonight, Dan.
I am.
really
I'm
appreciate
great.
it.
You're welcome.
Ooh, I'm fighting for my life, so anyway. Yeah, he was married to Anna Faris and they had a son.
Mm-hmm.
And then he divorced her and got remarried to somebody he met through his like really not great church.
Isn't it Katherine Schwarzenegger?
I believe so. And then they had a son, and he like made a whole post about had a daughter, and he made a whole post about this is his most recent trauma, for the record. That was like,
Trauma.
thank you for this healthy child.
I think we overuse the word trauma.
No, not trauma, drama.
Drama. Okay.
Drama.
I think we underuse the word drama.
Period. That's for sure. No, he was like, thank you for this healthy child that you gave me. And everybody was like, you know your son has like several disabilities, and you're just going to like shove that back in Anna's face. And I was like, ooh, the tea. The way I was slurping this tea. Also, I'm pretty sure like he's been openly slightly homophobic.
Openly,
I don't know the
slightly.
tea. Well, I think he's been more than slightly, but I don't know if that's the truth, and I'm not trying to start new rumors. I'm going to Google it.
According to his Wikipedia, welcome to the podcast, everyone. This is about as deep as the research that we normally do. It's on air. It's live, man. Uncut. Wild times.
Live.
He is attended a church that is affiliated with Hillsong, which is yeah.
That's a Justin Bieber church, right?
Yeah, see, the church he goes to is Zoe or Zoe Church, which the preacher is named Chad.
No.
And it's the Chris Pratt, Kardashian, Justin Bieber.
Oh, the Kardashians go to this
church.
too? I thought they
Yes.
went to some sort of like church because they're Armenian. I thought they went to like some Armenian Orthodox or something. Maybe I was just hoping for better.
But they were pulled away by the draw of Chad.
I was hoping for better for them, that maybe they were like learning about their culture and not following people named Chad.
Pastor Chad.
No. Okay, no shame to like, I'm sure there's like one Chad out there who's nice. You know? Like one Chad.
I'm sure Chad Kroger is perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he's a perfectly regular. What's wrong with Chad Kroger?
He did Avril Lavigne wrong, if I'm understanding correctly. Okay,
time to go to his Wikipedia page.
She wrote some pretty biting breakup songs about him. Okay, I tell you what. I got that celebrity drama for you, okay? One of my coworkers made the mistake of asking something about who Kanye West hooked up with, and I went on a long rant about everyone who's been with Kanye West. It was ugly. It was ugly.
Yeah, okay. I'm looking, his personal life section on his Wikipedia, it says they amicably separated.
Oh, her songs beg to differ, but okay.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, they are Canadian, so they probably were like,
they were
let's
married
get a
on Canada
divorce.
Day.
Oh, how patriotic of them.
Yeah. Avril Lavigne, I'm still upset about her divorce from her first husband.
Who was her first husband?
Derek Whibley, lead singer of Sum 41.
Oh, shoot. I missed that. I think she's gorgeous, and I love her music. That's it.
That's it.
Well, okay, do you remember when she had a line at Kohl's, when she was the ambassador for candies at Kohl's?
No.
Yeah, that makes sense, because it was like the juniors department for girls.
Oh, where I hang out all the time.
Ew, Dan.
Oh, I'm
Anyway.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm living my truth.
Okay, I'm glad. When I was like in 8th grade, I begged my mom to let me dye a strip of my hair, but she wasn't ready for me to actually dye my hair yet, which I did later in life. But she let me like chalk dye or temporary dye a strip of my hair green. And my grandma had bought me a sparkly pink, black, and white polo shirt from the Avril Lavigne Candies collaboration. I thought I was
Okay.
the baddest bitch on the face of the earth, Dan. And I still carry that energy with me because honestly, that probably would still be a sick fit to this day.
Sure.
And I'd wear it.
Oh, 100%. It's definitely come back in style.
That's exactly why. I'm telling you. Except, no, I was wearing it with a flare cut. Yeah, I was wearing it with a flare cut jean at the time. I was on top of trends in 2008.
What is a flare? Is a flare cut a
boot cut?
That doesn't help. I'm just thinking like disco jeans. Too wide?
No, Dan. Like, the top is tight. It's low rise.
Okay.
The top is tight till about mid calf, and then it gets like a little wider.
That describes me physically.
Yeah, me too.
My top is tight. When you get to my mid calf, that's when I get curvy. So you can sling a boot on.
Should we talk about Guardians of the Galaxy?
That's a good question. The movie that we're talking about today is, as we said, Guardians of the Galaxy.
I love our rants.
Retroactively referred to as Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, according to Wikipedia. Written and directed by James Gunn. Co-written with Nicole Perlman, who wrote the story for Detective Pikachu.
Oh, I liked Detective Pikachu. It was cute.
It was fun. I
had a
don't
good
think it was
time.
anything special.
Whoa. That's bad energy, Dan.
Okay. Starring Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper, Lee Pace, Michael Rooker, Karen Gillan, Jimon Hansu, our king, John C. Reilly, Glenn Close, and Benicio del Toro. Cinematography by Ben Davis. I'm just looking at his, which is so interesting because he's been the cinematographer on a lot of like interestingly shot movies.
Like what?
Banshees of Inisherin.
Oh, God. I heard
Hey,
that
that's
was
a great
slog.
movie. That is not a slog. It's a comedy.
Okay.
Okay. Released on August 1st, 2014. 9 years ago.
I just
Every
turned
time. It's just
19.
every single time I bring this up.
I hate my life. No, I just turned 2014. Yeah, I just turned 9. Or I was about to turn 19. I hate that.
I was in high school. I was 16 going on 17.
Oh, your Sound of Music year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
My
sweet
sluttiest
little
year.
Dan. Yeah, a period, as you should.
With a budget of $232 million, it made $773 million at the box office.
It was highly
And-
anticipated.
It was, but it also made much more money than people expected it to.
I guess, because Gage said that a lot of people didn't. Well, I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm not someone who really read the comics, so he said that a lot of people didn't know about these characters before the movies. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah, no. Who had heard of Star-Lord? And it was a movie starring Chris Pratt, whatever, but also a raccoon, a talking tree, and WWE wrestler Dave Bautista.
we love a Dave Bautista in this house. Okay,
We do, but this was his first major role. This was like,
I know.
oh, okay. And even this didn't really prove that he could act. It proved that he could
No.
do this one character, but he's by far the best actor of the WWE alumni.
I would agree. I really like Dave Bautista in everything I've seen him in. I also love Drax, but that's,
That's just you.
I feel like a lot of people love Drax. It also doesn't help that there's a dog in the Milwaukee dog community named Drax.
Okay, shut up. The Milwaukee dog community?
You act like I'm not talking about a real thing, but it's like a cult. I'm deep. Okay.
We overuse the word community. Not everything is a community.
It's a community, Dan. It's a community. I went into a dog store and I introduced myself as Jester's mom, and the woman said, "Oh, yeah."
Oh, my God.
She knew exactly who I was. She didn't know my name, but she said, Jester, mini Australian Shepherd mix. Got it.
We've gone too far.
We've strayed so far from God's light.
We need more territorial drama. Like, we need, like, how they would fight when they were making Milwaukee, when first establishing Milwaukee, and it was like 4 different cities, and that's why all the bridges over the rivers are at odd angles, because they didn't line up the roads on each side because they were so petty. We need more of that, just with like neighborhoods. There shouldn't be a whole Milwaukee dog community. There should be like a Bayview dog community.
Well,
and like
I think
a
it
Cooper
does.
Park dog community, and they should fight physically.
I think it does branch. I mean, technically, I'm more in the Wauwatosa dog community, even though I'm not in Wauwatosa. However,
you're in the fake suburb dog community?
Yeah, I'm just like, Jester, okay, now everybody don't stalk my dog, but Jester does go to our local, doggy daycare in the surrounding communities.
Mm-hmm.
So she's masquerading as a surrounding dog, even though she's not, she lives in Milwaukee. She's a city dog.
It's her greatest shame.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, no, I do live here. I mean, I feel that. I live in Los Angeles city limits, but I say that I live in Santa Monica because it's easier to describe where I live that way.
Yeah, I tell people I live in Tosa all the time, even though technically I don't. But like, even for trick or treat, all of our trick or treat stuff revolved around like Wauwatosa times because it's so dumb. Like,
well, trick or treat times are dumb. It should start when the first kid starts, and it should end on November 4th.
Dan, I don't have that much candy. My mom had to come bring me more because I could not go out myself to get it because of my COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at you, not wanting to spread it.
I sat...
Coward.
I sat with the window open and a mask on, and I wished kids happy Halloween from my window.
That's terrifying.
It was
horrible. You were the scariest creature on their journeys, their Halloween journeys.
Good, as I should be.
Anyway, on Rotten Tomatoes, Guardians of the Galaxy has a 92% approval rating.
Fair. I feel like it should be higher.
Just as irreverent as fans of the frequently zany Marvel comic would expect, as well as funny, thrilling, full of heart, and packed with visual splendor.
It's also star-studded. I know you already said that, but still.
It was nominated for 2 Academy Awards.
Mm-hmm.
Best Makeup and Best Visual Effects.
Oh, those were the ones I was going to guess.
It won neither of them.
I feel like that's hard for superhero movies.
Best Makeup went to Grand Budapest Hotel.
Okay, period.
The other nominee was Foxcatcher.
I don't know that one.
And Best Visual Effects went to Interstellar. The Sandra Bullock space movie.
Yeah, I know I hate space, so...
Wow. Well, this movie's called Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's different.
Most of it is in space.
I like fantasy space, not real space.
I feel like you should know, this was like a super strong year for movies.
Mm-hmm.
The Best Picture nominees were American Sniper.
Oh, I watched a bunch of these. Okay, go on.
Yeah, American Sniper.
Mm-hmm.
I say super strong year, and then I start off with that.
Jonathan Groff was in it, so... And Bradley Cooper had a good year, okay? He was in a lot of movies.
Boyhood.
I saw that. That was a good movie.
Grand Budapest Hotel.
I actually never saw that.
The Imitation Game.
Liked that movie a lot.
Selma.
I never saw that, but I really liked the song Glory, which I believe came from that movie.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Theory of Everything.
Never saw that one.
That's the Eddie Redmayne, Stephen Hawking movie.
No, I sing your movie. Never mind.
Whiplash.
I watched that with you.
I know you've seen Whiplash.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to a podcast about Whiplash earlier. And then the winner, Birdman.
With the drums.
Yes. I remember exactly the day that I saw Birdman.
Really?
Because it was a cloudy day in 2013 or 2014. And I was driving with my mom and my brother. This is all very relevant to Guardians of the Galaxy, by the way,
I love
obviously.
this for us.
And it was November, end of October, beginning of November. We were driving to Evanston to go see Birdman in theaters because it was only in a limited release. Because me and my family are a bunch of cinephiles.
Okay.
Emphasis on file. And that was the day that I got cast in the first play that I was ever in.
Oh, what a good day for you, Dan.
And I was disappointed that I got cast in a bigger role than the one that I wanted. I was cast as the villain, and I didn't want to be the villain. But yet, such was my curse.
For those who are not on the video chat with Dan and I just put my head into my hands wearily.
I knew I was not going to be the main character, obviously. I was a sophomore.
Yeah,
I'm also not good at acting.
But you're handsome and straight, so like.
But okay, problem. Guy who was the main character, handsome, straight, very talented impressionist.
There it is.
He is a working comedian.
Oh, good for him.
That is his job.
Good for him. Okay. Period.
No, so instead I was the Russian villain.
I can't do a Russian accent. Can you?
Very poorly.
Oh, that's
it was
better
very
than mine.
over the top.
This is mine.
That's Italian.
I'm bad at accents.
This is my Russian accent.
Somebody's like doing an accent. I'm like, ah. It's so bad.
Anyway, tell me about the first time you saw Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, I remember it clear as day, Dan. I was a sophomore in college, and I had the stomach flu.
Wow, what a time.
And I was laying in my dorm bed dying, and my roommate came home and she goes, "Hey, you want to watch Guardians of the Galaxy?" And I was laying in my bed and I was like, got nothing better to do besides puking, so sure. And then I actually really liked it because that was before I really like cared at all about superhero movies.
Okay.
So like she put it on and I was like, okay, wait, this is actually pretty good. Even though I feel like I'm dying, I'm having a good time. So yeah, I did fall asleep during part of it, but I've since seen it again, so it's not like I didn't know what happened. I just remember I fell asleep. How about you?
I saw it in theaters. It was not a particularly memorable theater-going experience because I have no memory from that time. I remember watching it. I remember the plot of the movie. I've also seen it a bunch of times since it was in theaters.
Yeah, it's one of those movies because the soundtrack is so good, I feel like.
I have much clearer memories about the soundtrack than I do the movie, which I think is partially because this was the first major superhero movie that put all the emphasis on like the classic retro sort of soundtrack and kicked off that wave that they're still going through.
I feel like this movie was a cultural reset for Marvel.
It was definitely a reset for DC because this inspired Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Suicide Squad. That was a bad movie. You know, the best thing that come out of that was the song "Heathens." Okay, I will not be taking any further questions at this time.
Why are you not talking about the Brendan Urie version of Bohemian Rhapsody?
Because I hated it. I don't like songs that people like to sing loudly in group settings, so that's on the list, okay?
I don't. Okay, I like some of them, but I do think that, speaking of songs like those, Don't Stop Believin', overdone. We can move past that. I want to dance with somebody. I want to listen to a different song.
Whoa, now hold on a second. I didn't say a dang thing about Miss Whitney Houston.
That might be my most controversial stance.
That was a hot take, Dan. I don't know if I can stand in your wedding anymore. That was, wow.
That's fine. I'll find someone else who doesn't want to dance.
No, I was kidding. I do want to dance, but I'll stop dancing for fun time at your wedding.
It will probably. That's not on the do not play list.
Thank God. You're not going to be happy with my do not play list.
Is it Pitbull? Are you not allowed to play Pitbull?
No, I mean, I am not allowing any line dances.
That's fine.
Okay, thank God.
As long as you can play Timber.
Timber,
all that I
will
care
be
about.
played.
Timber is the best song to get the dance floor popping.
Finally, something you and Gage can agree on. He's a big Kesha fan.
Good. Good. He should be. Finally, something that he has taste about.
I truly am at a loss for words right now.
So Guardians of the Galaxy is a film. And it starts out with a mother dying.
Yeah. Sad.
Not as emotionally impactful as I think they think that it is.
Well, when you've seen the second movie, especially, I feel like... I'm just... Sorry, that sounded like
Good
disturbed.
Fred Durst.
I was just, like... I don't know. I didn't feel too sad about it. I'm
No.
sorry, everyone.
I remember it. They're trying to do the thing that they did in like Finding Nemo and Up with the super sad backstory right at the front of the movie, which I prefer that than having it as like a secret that gets revealed.
Yeah, let's get it over with.
Why the hell is this dude in space? Okay, his mom died, and then in his sadness, he gets abducted by aliens.
But
sure.
he gets abducted by Daddy Yondu, so...
That's true, Michael Rooker. To which I say, Rooker?
I hardly know her.
Thank you.
Do you think that Yondu got bitches?
Oh, good lord, yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Why do you think his mohawk's detachable?
Yeah, I think he fucks.
Jan did.
Rest in peace, King.
So that was in 1988, and then in 2014, we see a grown-up version of this kidnapped Peter Quill, exploring the abandoned planet of Morag, trying to steal an orb. But he gets attacked, steals the orb anyway. And he gets discovered for the theft. And that was a bounty on his head. Bounty on his head, and then Ronan wants the orb. Ronan, by the way, is the villain. It's Lee Pace.
Ronan, by the way, villain.
Whatever. He doesn't matter all that much.
It just made me laugh. He doesn't. He's the villain, but, like, barely.
Yeah. He's like Thanos' hired lackey.
Yeah. Thanos is the overarching villain. We just don't see him because it's setting up.
Yeah. This is the first... the end of Avengers was the first setup, but this is the first one with what Thanos became in the series.
Yeah.
This is the first one that it's played by that guy, Josh Brolin.
That guy?
That guy. I couldn't think of his name. I couldn't think of it. I needed to pause. I didn't want to have silence or go,
I always get him confused with his dad because they both have J names.
Oh, I'm sorry. You mean Barbara Streisand's husband?
Period. Yes.
How does this keep happening?
I'm in my phase where I yell period. I listen to too many Gen Z podcasts. I'm sorry, everyone.
I don't think I've ever heard a Gen Z podcast.
I'm referring specifically to Brittany Broski's podcast, which is discontinued. Sadly, not sponsored.
Most of my podcasts, it's unfortunate, the hosts are aging out.
Oh, Dan, you and I have the opposite problem, huh? Mine are just getting too busy.
Well, I listened to a podcast by Mo Rocca about a JFK impersonator whose career died when JFK was assassinated. And I was like, finally, something I can relate to.
Damn.
I'm Gen Z.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Radio Rebel.
You are Radio Rebel.
So Ronan, by the way, the villain, he sends Gamora, Thanos' favorite daughter, after
My
the orb.
favorite daughter. We love Zoe Saldana in this house.
Yeah, so Zoe Saldana is Gamora, Thanos' daughter, and then Thanos' other daughter, Nebula, is
Scary.
dedicated to Thanos.
Oh.
And much more robotic in this than in the following films.
Yeah. I like Karen Gillan, but she scares me in these movies.
That's fair.
That's all I have to say. She just
There's
makes me nervous in these movies.
Nothing more scary than a bald woman.
It's the fact that her eyes
what
are
you
just
said.
completely black.
Okay, wow, that is frankly just offensive to the totally black eyeball community.
I'm sorry to those of you who've tattooed your eyes.
Oh, ow.
That's the thing they do in prison.
Oh,
specifically,
no.
I believe.
Wait, in
Like
prison?
Yeah, I believe that's like a prison tattoo you can get.
So like a stick and poke tattoo in your eyeball?
With like a ballpoint pen.
I would like to not that.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway, Peter's
Ew.
trying to sell the orb. I don't like that they keep calling it the orb. The name of it is just the orb.
The orb of confusion.
Peter's trying to sell his ball on Xandar.
Ew, that's
which
worse.
is the capital of the Nova Empire, which seemed like it was going to be a bigger thing in these movies, and then they never really come back to it. And while he's there, he tries to sell it to some collector, but collector doesn't want it because he tells him that there is an infinity stone in it, and we're like, that's supposed to mean something. Anyway, that's a problem for future us.
We'll come back to that. They did so much foreshadowing. So much.
What is the Sesame Street meme or the Mickey Mouse meme? It's a surprise.
Size tool we'll save for later.
Yeah.
Yeah. The kids
gun.
I used to babysit loved that show.
Is that Mickey Mouse Clubhouse?
It is.
God, I'm great at trivia.
You are. Good job, Dan. Disney
After he gets
King.
kicked out of the upscale resellers store, Gamora's like, you got an orb there? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, I want it. And then they fight. She tries to seduce him for like 6 seconds. And then she's like, fuck this.
It worked on me.
You were seduced?
By Zoe Saldana, who also collaborated with Coles.
Was their collaboration named Zoe Sell Clothes?
Yep. No, it was an Adidas collaboration specifically for Coles.
Zoe Salditas.
Yes, that is exactly what it was called.
In the fight, they are attacked by 2 bounty hunters, Rocket Raccoon and Vin Diesel.
Dan, put some respect on Groot's name.
Sorry, I am Vin Diesel.
Thank you. Groot is the most important, influential, iconic, baby, perfect king. I would trust him with my life. I would leave my drink with Groot.
Did you watch the Grammys?
Not recently.
Okay, it's not like it's an ongoing TV
I've
show.
seen
Not
the
recently.
Grammys in my
I'm
life.
aware of the concept of the Grammys.
I watched the performances.
This year at the Grammys, they had this thing where they kept cutting back to this round table of super fans of each Album of the Year nominee. And they would always they would ask, why does whoever you're supporting deserve to win Album of the Year?
Mm-hmm.
They never talked about the album. They never talked about the music. They were like, Harry Styles is a baby who needs to be protected at all costs. And I'm like, I'm sure he is. Tell me why Harry's house is better than 30. Nothing. I hated it.
They're both the same. Thank you. I could tell you one good thing about Groot. He protects his friends at the cost of his own life.
That's true.
And he's a king, and we love him. He is baby.
You lost it at the end.
I went back.
You
on
regressed.
purpose. I said one good thing. That's good enough. We love Groot. If you love Groot, give this podcast 5 stars.
So they fight, and then they all get captured by the fascists, the cops, the Nova Corps. They call themselves, they say that they're fascists. I don't know why I'm defending that. Anyway, fascism. Let's go over it. So,
crack open
in
your
Italy,
textbooks.
then we get introduced to everybody. We also meet John C. Reilly, and I'm like, oh, what happened? He's such a good actor. Why did his career not go the way that it should have?
Wait, you forgot Glenn Close is in this too.
Yeah, why?
Star power.
I guess.
They want rent was due. I don't know.
Star of Damages, Glenn Close.
Star of 101 Dalmatians live action.
Oh, that's true. I forgot
That's what
about that.
knew Glenn Close from when I was little. So, I love John C. Reilly, and don't hate me. I love him in What's Eating Gilbert Grape. I love him in Chicago, and I love him in Talladega Nights.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I have not seen him that I remember in anything else off the top of my head. Besides this, I guess.
This came to mind because I just saw Boogie Nights in theaters. They were doing a screening of it. He's in Boogie Nights. He's so good. Everybody's so good in it, but like he's so good. And then he was like, he got pigeonholed into the like sidekick comedy roles with Will Ferrell.
I think maybe he was like, Will Ferrell's offering me a steady paycheck, so I'm just gonna kick it here for a little bit.
That's fair. I mean, it was a steady paycheck.
Like I said, if my man John C. Reilly is getting his bread, getting his checks, and they're clearing, it's all I can hope for him.
So they're in prison, and then they meet another inmate, Dave Bautista, Drax the Destroyer.
We love Draxy.
Who wants to kill Gamora because she's associated with Thanos, and Ronan, who killed his wife and daughter.
Is it weird to you that Drax had a child and a wife? Because I feel like it's just such a himbo that he should just never have ever succeeded on a date.
Are we to assume they have similar reproductive organs to humans based on their clothing choices?
I assumed. Because they're humanoid, so I assumed.
There is an ongoing running joke in the online wrestling fandom, not community, where people keep asking how big Dave Bautista's penis is.
Don't ruin that. He's baby.
Now wait, they do like AMAs on Reddit with professional wrestlers.
No, Dave.
And people will ask, how big is Dave Bautista's little Batista? And no one will ever tell.
Good.
It's always a secret. But the assumption, it's a hog.
I mean, I think so. If penis size is equal to, radiant
Babiness?
energy size. Oh, radiant energy, I was going to say.
Wait, did you say radiant or radiant?
Radiant, like he's a radiant beam of joy in my heart, and I really like Dave Bautista. If he's ever problematic, I will literally burst into flames.
He got a Washington Redskins tattoo covered up.
Period. King.
Absolutely.
I believe he was also raised by 2 women, like his mothers were lesbians, so he's very vocal about like LGBT rights and like active in that community and stuff. As he should. If he is ever problematic, Dan, I will take to the bed. I will be so
I'm just not going to tell you.
Please don't.
I have Google News alerts set for Dave Bautista, obviously.
As you should.
But I'll just keep things. Some things are allowed to be secrets,
Thank you. I love Dave Bautista. I just think he's baby.
So while they're in prison, Star-Lord convinces Drax that they can all work together, and they all decide that they're going to break out of prison together, and sell the orb to the Collector. There's a fight scene. They fight. A lot of fighting. Turn the gravity off.
It is. Oh, I liked that part.
A little whimsical. Maybe a little unearned whimsy. Because when they turn the gravity off, everybody like stops and is like, "Whoa, what is this?" But I think it's safe to assume that they're all intergalactic travelers. I figure they would have experienced zero gravity before.
Yeah. I mean, you'd think being in space.
No one can hear you scream.
Oh my god. True. So true.
I remember last time I was in space, just shouting. No one heard me.
I've never been in space because I hate space.
I have a movie to recommend to you.
If you say
It's called Gravity.
I knew you were going to say
Sandra
some
Bullock.
foolishness. No.
So they all escape. They escape in Peter's ship, the Milano. Are we to assume named after the Girl Scout cookie?
What?
I'm not joking. The name of the ship is the Milano. It's not named after everyone. It's named after Alyssa Milano.
I was talking about the Girl Scout cookie comment.
Well, yeah, Milanos. Aren't those a Girl Scout? No, those are just Toll House cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
now I
I was
know what you're
thinking of...
I was like, tag-alongs? Like, that's not even what we called them in Wisconsin. Those are caramel delights up in here.
No, what are just like the butter cookies called?
Depending on where you're from, they're either shortbread or trefoils.
Yeah, the shortbread. I was thinking of shortbread.
Mm-hmm.
So, they have a s'mores cookie?
Yeah. It's not new.
Wait. Tagalongs are the peanut butter ones.
Oh. What are the caramel delights called then? Samoas.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember because they're not called any of those things in Wisconsin. So.
Because Wisconsinites can't pronounce it?
We call them caramel delights and peanut butter patties.
We eat them in the French room.
Yep. No, it has to do with the bakery that they come from anyway.
Yeah. So Ronan is meeting with Thanos to talk about her betrayal, and then they all end up in Nowhere, a lawless outpost in space.
I did not know that it was spelled with a K until we had the
Subtitles
on.
Why would you? Also, why does it matter?
Right? I was like, this is only clever on paper, or if you have the subtitles on, but okay.
Damn, if there's ever an insult that would just describe me,
Yeah.
clever on paper.
Ooh, that's just cutting.
That is biting.
Mm-hmm.
They all get drunk, and Drax calls Ronan there. Well, everyone else is
Wait.
basically.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He drunk calls Ronan.
Drax. Oh, Draxy.
And the Collector opens up the orb. There's an Infinity Stone in there. It's the Power Stone.
Everyone's gasping. Everyone's pearls are clutched.
And one of the Collector's slaves is like, I'm done with this. I'm going to be free. And then she explodes, and the rest of the things there explode.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ronan pops up. And he's like, Drax, you a bitch.
Phrase I
Curb
would
stops
never utter.
him.
No, he doesn't.
He beats him easy.
He beats him, but he doesn't curb stop him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't metaphorically curb stomps him.
Okay,
Doesn't
just
make him
making
bite
sure.
the curb and American History X him.
I know. I was like, dang.
And then everybody else escapes as they're followed by Gamora's sister Nebula.
Scary.
But Nebula destroys Gamora's ship, and she's out there floating in space, and Peter sees this, and he's like, time to be a white savior. Floats off freezing.
God, I was so mad. I was like, he's literally his head would explode. And Gage was like, no, he's got eternal blood in him. I was like, I don't care. If this was real life, his head would explode.
Yeah, that's the only unrealistic part of Guardians of the Galaxy. Him floating in space. So Peter goes out there to save her, and then they all get saved by Yondu's gang.
We love Yondu.
Yondu?
Yondu.
People think it don't be like that.
But Yondu.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We've been doing this for nearly 3 years.
Oh my god. Look at us, Stan.
That's why we're on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true. 2 years? 3 years?
Well,
2
we've
years?
known
No,
each
3
other
years.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
1,000,000 years of being my friend, Dan. How does it feel?
It reminds me of that Madonna and Justin Timberlake song, 4 minutes.
4 minutes? That song hits. What are you going to say?
It does. But the bridge is, time goes by so slowly. Time goes, time goes, time
I'm
goes
frowning.
by. You're
I
drowning?
heard I'm frowning.
Hmm.
I heard that song the other day and I started dancing in my car.
Cool.
If you want it. Ooh, they used to play that in pep band in high school.
So they get rescued, and then Rocket, Drax, and Groot are going to attack Yondu's ship to rescue them. But they get a truce. He's going to give the orb to Yondu. But they're all like, if they face Ronan, it's certain death. But they can't let him use the Infinity Stone to destroy the galaxy. So they come up with a plan.
As one
And
does.
Ronan embeds the Power Stone into his hammer.
Yes.
And then he's like, what up, Thanos? I'm going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And Nebula's like, yeah, kill my dad.
She's confusing.
She plays a much smaller role in this movie than I remembered.
She's
I thought she
more
was
in
in
the
a lot
second
more.
one, isn't she?
Yes.
Is the third one's not out yet. I'm an idiot.
Yeah. No, in the second one, she's a part of, like a main part with the rest of the group compared to
Yes, I
in this
thought.
one where she is the enemy's lackey.
Mm-hmm.
So the Ravagers, which are Yondu's gang, and the Guardians of the Galaxy, they join forces with the Nova Corps. They convince them that they're like, hey, what up? We're good. You should trust us. And
Help
they're like,
us.
John C. Reilly was like, yeah, I trust him.
Trusted so quickly.
He falls in love easy.
You know, me too. It's okay, John.
Because Ronan is going to destroy Xandar, because he's like, you slaughtered my people all these years ago. I'm going to rain hellfire and kill all of you.
Great.
You know.
Can't wait.
Exciting. Sign me up. Give me a Google notification when I'm ready to go. So the Nova Corps make a net to try and stop him. Well, the Guardians of the Galaxy get onto the warship. On the ship, Drax fights and kills someone who we met earlier, but it doesn't really matter.
I love Drax.
And then Gamora defeats Nebula, who escapes. She ain't dead. Wonder why. And then Ronan's like, let's firebomb this place. So they start fighting, and then the ship crashes on Xandar. And it seems like everybody's going to die. But you know why they don't?
Why don't they die?
Because Groot turns himself into a human tree shield.
I literally love Groot so much, and this is exactly why. He's literally so perfect. He's great. The whole movie, he's kicking butt. And then he's also caring and wonderful. He said, these are my
Wow.
friends. I am Groot.
We are Groot.
We are... I'm literally wiping my tears. I'm literally crying over Groot.
Literally.
Vin Diesel's greatest performance.
Wow.
I said what I said. And I've
Way
seen...
to undercut the pacifier.
How dare you mention that in my presence when I was about to say I've seen every Fast and Furious movie and spin-off.
He's also in XXX and XXX State of the Union
What?
and XXX The Return of Xander Cage.
Oh, no.
He's in Saving Private Ryan.
Oh,
We
yeah, I
talked about
forgot
that.
about that. Star-studded cast. I still think Groot, Vin Diesel's greatest character.
Imagine if he was Groot in Saving Private Ryan.
That would be iconic. It would be so good.
So after the sacrifice of Groot, they crash land. Ronan pops up ready to destroy Xandar, but Quill's like, dance battle, motherfucker.
Stupid. I hated that part.
It's okay. Completely disagree.
Oh, you enjoyed it?
Because the first time that I saw this, I was like, oh, this works so well. It fits his character, and it's been overdone in every Marvel movie since.
Okay.
But it was fresh at the time. It was like, sure, yeah, this makes sense why he would do this.
I guess.
He's an
Maybe
idiot.
it's just because this is like, I haven't seen this in a long time, and now I've seen all these other movies, and I'm like, it's fine. I'm sick of it.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen the new Ant-Man yet, but I've seen the clips on Twitter. Man, that looks like it sucks.
We're going tomorrow, so hopefully it doesn't. I'm excited.
Have you seen... I don't want to spoil anything for you.
Okay.
But there's one thing that I've seen that is like, oh my God.
I haven't seen
What
anything.
is that? Okay, I'm not going to tell you what
from
it
it.
is.
Yeah, don't tell me, because I haven't seen a dang thing from it. I'm going in completely cold. I just know Paul Rudd's in it.
I'm excited for your surprise.
Thank you.
So the gang destroy the hammer, and then Peter grabs the stone, and the Guardians share the burden and use it to vaporize Ronan. And Peter is actually half human, half something else, eternal, living planet.
I'll
knows?
never know. Who knows? Not me.
They survive. They give a fake orb to Yondu, give the real one to the Nova Corps. They get their criminal records expunged, and he finds a cassette tape, Awesome Mix Volume 2, and a baby version of Groot in a pot. And they fly off to their next adventure.
Baby Groot. I'm going to Google a picture of Baby Groot right now.
And in the immediate post-credit scene, it's Groot dancing to the Jackson 5.
It's so
And then
cute.
the end.
I also was dancing.
The end post-credit scene is Howard the Duck.
Yeah. Voiced by the mysteriously sexy Seth Green. But...
I didn't realize that was Seth Green.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't.
It is Seth Green.
Wow.
I know something you didn't.
Well, of course, you are Seth Green facts, so I expect you to
He's
update
just
me on
kinda
anything
handsome.
that he's in.
I think about, 90s, early thousands Seth Green, and I immediately have to take to the bed again because of the vapors. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh.
So what about in It?
Okay, that does not count. That's the
That's
80s, and he was
child.
an actual child. I'm talking like Austin Powers, Seth Green.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, he's a cutie.
He's
Hottie.
a cutie there. And Scooby-Doo.
Fair. All fair.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's Guardians of the Galaxy.
We made it.
Tell me your thoughts.
I like it. I mean, it's like I said, it was such a it was a cultural shift, dare I say. When the soundtrack came out, like everybody was like, "Wow, this is awesome! This is all such great, like, throwback jams and stuff, and like the music's really fun and good, and the movie itself is really fun and like very lighthearted for the most part, minus the section at the beginning."
Yeah.
And it's just so much more easygoing than some of the other superhero movies out there.
Yes.
I would
Yeah,
say
there's
even-
something-
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
There's something about it. It was such a breath, like a breath of fresh air, kind of.
Yeah, like even compared to, I would even say like in like Iron Man and stuff, which you could argue, oh, those are funny, those are funnier movies. Not in the same vein as these.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are superhero movies that happen to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
This one, especially this one compared to the second one, like any other one, this is a comedy movie that happens to be a superhero movie. And it worked really well. And I feel like Marvel has been trying to recapture that with everything. And it has not worked as well as they would have hoped, or I would have hoped.
I'm looking forward to seeing this next Guardians just because I'm intrigued, especially with people were so polarized about how they felt about Star-Lord after all the Infinity War stuff.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Is that what it's called?
No.
Oh,
It's just
thank
Volume
God.
3. I would love it if it was called Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
You know who's in it?
Who?
Go through my list of men I love.
Seth Green.
No.
Chris
I know they're not.
Hemsworth.
No. I don't really care for him.
Other men you love. The Fallout Boy.
No. I'll just
Andy
tell
Hurley.
you. Oh, ugh.
Who is it?
Fun fact. The members of Fall Out Boy, specifically Joe Troman, are friends with Seth Green. It's
Good
my
for
fun
them.
Fact. It's Will Poulter. He's the villain.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, he has to be like super jacked for it,
Oh my
too.
God, Dan! When I tell you, have you seen him?
I have.
He looks amazing, and I thought he always looked good, even in his little Sid-looking skinny little British boy situation. I was like, dang, that is a tall drink of water. I would like to take a sip, but. All the girlies are jumping on now, all the Marvel girlies, and I welcome them with open arms. See it my way, girls. It's great out here. And gays.
I do have some
and
trivia.
days. Okay, I'm ready.
So, Sean Gunn, James Gunn brother, is briefly in the movie, and he also did the motion capture for Rocket.
Yes, I knew that.
With Bradley Cooper doing the voiceover.
Do you know what else he's in?
Sean Gunn, Scooby-Doo.
Oh, I was going to say Gilmore Girls.
But not as a motion capture, as
No.
an actual actor, right?
Yes. I don't like Gilmore Girls. It makes me sad, and I don't really know why.
I have not seen it since I was a child. I didn't really have any strong thoughts about it then. It was just on.
Just makes me sad. That's just a me thing. I have to probably sort through.
Lee Pace originally auditioned for Quill before being cast as Ronan.
I hate to say it, I really do, but I don't think I could picture anybody else playing Star-Lord.
No, I don't think so. I think Chris Pratt is very well cast.
I think
he's
Chris
very good
Pratt
as Star-Lord.
slays. Do you notice how I'm saying his name?
Yeah, I know that you're saying crisp rat.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Yeah, no, you're using those ghost vowels.
I am. Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Good. Just making sure.
James Gunn said that Rocket was one of the main reasons why he wanted to make the movie.
I love that. Bradley Cooper slays that role too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't sound like him either,
No.
which is incredible.
Exactly. I was literally saying that to Gage last night. I was like, dang, I forget this is Bradley Cooper sometimes because it doesn't sound like him at all. Especially since that year, like you said, American Sniper came out. And I think to myself about how the two characters that he played between those two movies are just
Totally
so different. Good for him. Range.
Yeah.
We call that range.
To play Nebula, Karen Gillan shaved her head.
Wow. That's commitment. I would have been like bald cap.
And
I'm
then
going to look bad bald.
her hair was made into a wig,
Oh my. For
which
herself?
she then got back for the movie Selfie that she was in, or the TV show Selfie. She was in
Interesting.
with John Cho.
That's interesting. Couldn't
In
be
the sequels, she wore a bald cap.
Yeah. I'd be like, please, I'm too ugly.
Chris Pratt had been pudgy on Parks and Rec.
Mm-hmm. We loved
Got
fat
ripped.
Chris Pratt.
Got ripped to be in Zero Dark 30.
Mm-hmm.
Got pudgy again for Parks and Rec again. And then for Guardians of the Galaxy, he lost 60 pounds
Dear God.
to be Star-Lord. He almost passed on it because he didn't think he could get his body ready for the role.
The regimen that they have these people on is insane. Like I said, back to Will Poulter for a minute, he was talking about it. He's like, this is unsustainable, if I'm being honest.
The steroids that they're on? Not like, sure, use steroids if that's the look you're going for, but like, good God, that's enough to like kill a bull.
Well, even Zoe Saldana showed a video that she was in her green paint and costume, and they have to follow that strict diet, and it was somebody's birthday. It was a TikTok. It was somebody's birthday on set, and she gets to her trailer, and all her like hair and makeup people are eating cupcakes, and she walks in, and she's just staring at them, and they're all staring at her. It was very funny, but it couldn't be me. I would be so sad. I'd be like, please, can I just have one crumb of that cupcake? Just one little sniff. Please.
Yeah, so the success of this convinced rivals to create anti-hero comedic superhero movies, including Deadpool and then Suicide Squad.
Wait, I thought Deadpool was Marvel.
It was Fox.
Oh, which
because
is
they
now
own the
Disney,
rights to the
which is also
character.
Marvel.
Yeah,
Got it. Okay.
it was a Marvel character. Fox owned the movie rights to it, though.
Okay. Got it.
Vin Diesel voiced Groot in every version.
As he should.
Almost
Let the king have his role.
every version. He has not to the Japanese, Hungarian, or Italian versions, unfortunately.
Well, I get it. He's a busy man. That's hours in the studio.
Right? Yeah, so this movie was expected to gross around $180 million because it's based on an obscure comic book, and it was released at the end of August. It ended up being the highest grossing movie of 2014.
Yeah, I can't say I'm shocked. It's a Marvel movie. Literally, what do you expect?
Yeah. And it was also good.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah. Fun without being like, look at how much fun we're having.
Yeah. No, it was fun.
Look at how
while still
silly
being,
this
like,
is.
Yeah. Something you could talk about. Gage even said he's like, they did a good job because of how they made us fall in love with Groot. Like, he's a literal plant. Like, there's no reason why we should love Groot as much as we do.
Yeah. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was originally offered the role of Star-Lord.
Wait, hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
Middle school Anna's having an awakening.
Also,
Oh, God, sorry. I choked on my own spit while I was thirsting.
a bunch of... I'm just going to read off a bunch of names.
Mm-hmm. I'm ready.
And then I'll save Zachary Levi, John Krasinski, Garrett Hedlund, James Marsden, Joel Edgerton, Jack Houston, Aaron Paul, Eddie Redmayne, and Glenn Howerton from Always Sunny. All considered for Star-Lord.
That's quite the range. It's a very
It
big
is
range.
quite the range.
Zachary Levi, he's off my list. He's been homophobic. And by Ben, I mean he's shown his true colors lately.
When was he homophobic?
Recently. Look it up.
I just saw the vaccine thing.
Oh, wait, that's what it was. Sorry.
Those
I
are
got
different. Those are different.
I got my hills to die on confused. I'm so sorry. He's probably homophobic too at this rate.
That's a good thing. Assume.
What I'm just saying. No, but still. Zachary, you lost my respect with the vaccines comment. I was getting real heated about it over dinner one day. Somebody was like, "Why do you care, Anna? Doesn't affect you." And I was like, "Twitch, twitch, 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 twitch." Anyway.
So for Gamora, Gina Carano,
Okay.
Sportscaster Rachel Nichols,
What the fuck?
Tandy Newton, Elizabeth Banks,
Okay.
Rosario Dawson, Olivia Wilde, and Amanda Seyfried.
Now, Olivia Wilde.
Okay. Get over your personal
I
thoughts
can't.
on her.
I simply cannot. You know I have something to say. No, this is Zoe Saldana supremacy in this house. I told you. Rosario would have slayed too, though.
Mm-hmm. Amanda Seyfried.
She
Different.
kinda
Would have been
looks
different.
Like a mouse. Okay, Dan, speaking of Amanda Seyfried, the amount of times since I watched Jennifer's Body for the first time, which was last Halloween, that I've said to Gage, I thought about Jennifer's Body again and I got sad. It's been a lot.
Have you seen The Dropout?
No.
Okay, you should watch it. But the
Am I
number
gonna
of
be
times
sad?
since watching that, I just go, this is an inspiring step forward, is off the charts.
Okay.
She plays Elizabeth Holmes.
Okay. All right.
Jason Momoa was offered the role of Drax.
Wait, pause. Back up. Is that the one about the woman who starts a pyramid scheme?
No.
I think I'm thinking of a different person.
It's not
but
a pyramid
she's also
scheme.
blonde.
And wears a turtleneck? It's not a pyramid scheme.
Okay. We'll regroup on that movie. Okay.
It's a
Back
TV
to-
show.
That TV show. We'll regroup. Back to Jason Momoa.
Yeah, Jason Momoa offered the role, didn't want to be typecast.
As big and handsome?
Yeah.
Interesting. He didn't want to be a himbo? I guess
guess
his rent
not.
wasn't due.
Jim Carrey, Danny DeVito, H. John Benjamin, all considered for Rocket Raccoon.
Danny DeVito. They should just put just some raccoon ears on his head.
Mhm.
No CGI.
I want to hear the H. John Benjamin version of Rocket.
It makes me uncomfortable just thinking about it.
That's about all. There are a bunch of other things that were planned that didn't happen, but whatever. That's about all the interesting trivia I have.
Okay.
Okay. So, Anna,
Dan.
would this movie be better, worse, or the same with Jonathan Taylor Thomas as Star-Lord?
Better.
No.
I know I'm lying. It would not
You're
be
wrong.
better. It would be worse. Chris Pratt did serve in this movie. Like I said, he slayed. I just can't even, as much as I like to imagine what it would be like with others, I can't picture it. I think he was made for that role. There, I said it. That's the last nice thing I'm going to say about him, though.
Okay.
How about you?
Better, worse, or the same with Jimmy Stewart
Mm-hmm.
as Star-Lord? I'm talking about a long Jimmy Stewart.
Long?
A string bean sort of a man.
Star-Lord, in an old-timey idea of what a spacesuit would look like.
Now, if you want a black light, if you want to shine a black light in here, this thing would look like a Jackson Pollock painting.
Ew.
5 stars.
I don't like the idea of him saying that. That gives me the ick.
Who the devil is Jackson Pollock? My impression's getting worse the more that I do it.
No, I love it. I think you're right on.
It's also getting closer and closer to Don Knotts.
We love Don Knotts.
Andy!
God,
That's all I can say.
that's fair. It was pretty spot on, though. I'll give you that.
Thank you. On a scale of 1 to 5, babies that need to be protected at any cost, what do
Amen.
you give Guardians of the
I
Galaxy?
give it 4.5
Okay.
because I think it's thoroughly enjoyable, and minus my own biases towards Chris Pratt. I think it's a really fun movie, and like I said, I think it's so important to why Marvel is moving in the direction it is now, and why superhero movies in general are in the direction that they are now. And I just think that there are a lot of things you can learn from this movie, just to, what made it a success, why they were still able to have this story and create characters that we did care about while still having it be funny and lighthearted and still move the story along and still introduce things that will be important later while still keeping it enjoyable and, like I said, lighthearted. So,
Absolutely. I agree with everything you said. 4 out of 5.
Perfect.
Fun time. Just a fun time.
Yeah.
So, anything else to add?
I'm still just really excited for the third one. I can't wait for it to come out. I know that doesn't really have to do with this movie, but I'm just really excited. I'm gonna drop everything and run to the theater.
Well, you know what you should be more excited about?
What, next movie?
Our next movie, Avengers Age of Ultron.
I haven't seen this one.
Ooh. Okay.
I've only seen Infinity War.
You haven't seen Endgame?
No.
Wow.
I just don't really care that much. And I've only seen Infinity War because when Gage and I first met, I mentioned to him that I like some of the movies, but I never really sat down and saw them, and I never saw Endgame. And so he brought me a DVD player and the DVD so that I could watch it. That's why I have a picture of a penguin in my phone next to his name, because that's penguin energy. Brought me the shiniest rock he had, his DVD player.
So, that is it for this week's episode of In Conclusion. We will be back next week with Avengers Age of Ultron. If you want to find us on social media, we're on Facebook and Twitter @and In Conclusion, on Instagram @In Conclusion Podcast, Patreon.com/In Conclusion. I'm on Twitter @DanO'Keefe86 and on TikTok @NotDanO'Keefe. Anna, where can they find you?
Dan, I have a question. Do people still tweet stupid things, or is Twitter now just a godless wasteland for making fun of Elon Musk?
All I see are stupid things.
Oh, good, because I had 20 stupid thoughts last week, but I didn't post them because I was like, they're not about Elon,
That's what it's for. Tweet stupid things.
Just making sure. Anyway, you can find me on Instagram @AutomusPrime818, or you can find me on Twitter @AutobotsRollOut, capital O for Auto, capital B for Bots, capital R for Roll, and the O in Roll, and the O in Out are zeros. Also, please follow my dog, Jester the Pup 1017. No caps, no spaces. Be a part of the Milwaukee dog community. Let's get her a sponsorship, please. She needs to pay rent.
Poser dog.
She is a poser.
She's a poser
I'm
dog.
out here. She's literally looks at me and she goes, "You're the one who's just, running the credit card. I know you got a raise. Spend it on me."
We'll be back next week with Age of Ultron. In the meantime, everybody stay safe and have fun. Bye-bye.
Bye. Transition? Now you're talking like a scientist.